Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my first book review video. If you saw my January TBR video, you'll see the books that I was reading during January. So now I'm just going to go through them, some quick reviews, and just basically go through what I thought of them all. First up, we have Roadside Picnic, which was by Arkday and Boris Strugatsky. It's a science fiction novel. It's a strange novel. It's actually originally written in Russian, translated into English. I think there's a few different translations out there. The one I got is the Science Fiction Masterworks, which is the newer version with the yellow spines. I really enjoyed the book, but it is a very different style of science fiction than I'm used to reading. To me, it was a lot more of a ground level story about the people that are at the place where the science fiction thing happens. I don't want to spoil the story, but rather than being about sort of the top level scientists and all the sort of the fancy stuff that's going on, it's a lot more grounded and about the people living with the events that happen. I really enjoyed the ideas of those characters and how they dealt with the situation, and it has a sort of cumulative effect as it goes throughout the novel until it gets to the point where it gets to the end. And it's not quite what you're expecting. It also has quite a strange narrative structure with the chapters. I won't go into too much, but it just changes the style of it as it goes through. I don't know if some of that comes from the translation as well. But yeah, it's very different kind of read. I do recommend it if you like science fiction and you want to try something a little bit different and a little bit more grounded. So the second book is the fantasy choice that I had for January, which was Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell, which is the first book in the Greatcoats Quartet. Again, quite a short book. The other ones in this series do get a lot longer than this one. But it's very fast-paced, very fun book, sort of an action-adventure style. You can definitely see the inspirations for things from like the Three Musketeers and that sort of swashbuckling style of the characters, and some of they use sort of similar weapons and all that kind of thing. But it does have more fantasy elements in there with magic systems and things like that, although they're very low key in the first book. There's a couple of strange narrative choices in there that to me didn't really work, and I know a few other people had that issue as well. I don't know if that kind of thing continues, but again, no spoilers in this review, but there's some bits that could probably have been taken out and wouldn't change the book. Whether or not they have longer term effects through the series, I don't know. But overall, it's a very interesting, very fast paced, fun book. I do look forward to reading the rest of the books, which I'll probably try and get to over the coming months. So the third book is the indie book, which is The Warden by John Richter. I've only got that on digital, so I don't have a physical copy, but I'll put a picture up. The Warden is a sort of a techno thriller. It's set in pretty much modern day with some slight future aspects to it. It's also quite close to home as it concerns the virus that's sort of on everyone's mind at the moment, but it's almost like an alternate future of what could happen, along with some developments in sort of technology and artificial intelligence and that kind of thing. And funnily enough, after reading Roadside Picnic as well, which had that ground level aspect of science fiction, The Warden had very similar ideas, where although it has sort of two parts to it, there's the down to earth ground level aspect, and then it does have the top level scientist type aspect where you learn both sides of the story, so you can see things developing and how they intertwine along. It's a very quick read, very easy to read, and that's a good thing. It keeps you interested and it keeps you going through it. It's about the same length as all the other books I read this month, but I think I read that one the quickest. I had the virus during the time that I read it, and I don't know if that helped with the immersion of the text, I don't know, but it definitely went through a lot quicker for me because I just sped through reading it. A very good book and highly recommend it. So those are my reviews for my science fiction, my fantasy and my indie book for January. Thanks very much for joining, and I'll see you again in the next one.